Hello, testing this mic. Looks like it is good. Hello, everybody. Hello, those in chat. Mike Curry and Genos and Milk Bunny. Let me get this screen flipped over in just a second. Just checking a couple of things. Okay. So before I switch this screen over, I do want to say that there is now an upgrade thanks to my husband. Bought me a present. So kind of something that I had really wanted for a long time, especially when I started streaming, but didn't know how long I would stick with this. And so I didn't, I'm the type of person that likes to invest in something only after I know I'm actually going to need it. But we've been streaming for a lot of hours at this point, and so it's needed. So we have a new angle, new camera setup. Hopefully it will assist us all better in the future and allow you guys to see better. So let me get this switched over. And there's a Kermie surprise. Oh my god, he looks pretty cute on the screen. So yeah, it's a top-down angle from now on. So hopefully this will, serve our purposes better and look better, and we'll be able to see everything clearer, because one of the biggest problems I had at shooting in its angle is I am left-handed, and so my hand would block the camera now and then because the position my desk is set at. It just kind of has to be that way. So now that there is a top-down angle, we should not have that issue, and you guys should be able to see everything much clearer. I was doing some checks. The only problem that I was having is that it likes to pick up on this texture, and so I think what I will need to do from now on is purchase paper towels that don't have a big texture on them. Oh, there goes Kermie. Otherwise, it's just gonna focus on the paper towel texture and not, my figure. So this type of paper towel seems to be working better and focusing better. You can see this is a very clear towel. Might have to keep my workspace a little bit clearer because it might like to focus on the paint dots and stuff that will tend to be on this, airbrush booth. But we're gonna stick with this for now and kind of see how that helps us. And so far so good. I've kind of tested it out. You can see put my hands here, and this is kind of the space we'll be working in, and so a lot of times I was focused right here. Now I think it will be much better. Lighting seems to be pretty good. It's kind of off, not direct lighting, but still really bright so you guys can see everything. Hello Hololai, how are you doing tonight? We are just saying our hellos and chiming in on our new top-down view, which I am in love with so far, but we'll see how that goes when we're actually working. I also do have a little figure over here that I just wanted to test under the lighting, so you guys who are here early and today can see it and just kind of see what finished figures will look like under the light. This is a figure that is my cover photo for Twitch for now. Still have some minor issues with focusing, but looks pretty good under these lighting conditions. This is a figure I finished quite a while ago at this point. I don't even remember what year, 2018 I think? So she's about 3, maybe 4 years old, or maybe it was 2019, so 2 to 3 years old. But yeah, camera seems to focus pretty immediately on whatever I lift up, and so I think we will have smooth sailing, so that's really good. Just kind of doing a recap, I guess, of this. Let's see how close we can get to. Oh, that's pretty good. She might be a little bit dusty because she's just been sitting in my cabinet for a while. Let's see if her eyes will focus. Yeah, it's pretty good. She's very small, you can see, only about this big. So, alright, pretty good. Let's put this back then and away so I don't spill anything or do anything on it. Tired? You had to have your car jump started. Oh man, that's always a tiring situation. I'm glad that you made it home safe though. Hopefully, you'll be able to fix the issues with your car, or at least, just get it taken care of. It's always always something you don't plan for, and it can end up very exhausting. But in any case, yeah, glad things are better for you now and you're in a safe spot. All right, so quick recap of what we did last time. We worked entirely on metallic blues, so let's get this image big again. I'm gonna do this every time. And there we go. Okay, so last time we worked pretty much only on metallic blues of that outfit. So we used Mr. Color Blue, Mr. Color Metallic Blue, 76 I believe was the color. And then we did a bunch of other stuff with clear shadings involving purple and fluorescent blue and clear black. And last stream I got an interesting, well, not so much interesting comment, but it made me do some thinking. And at the end of every stream, I may or may not do like a quick recap just in case, you know, as like a summary of what we did. That way, you know, if at the end of the stream you're curious about what techniques I used or anything, we'll be able to quickly summarize it, and there'll be like a reference point, or at least something that you guys can check, you know, if you're interested at all about what we did. So I might do that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we worked on only blues. We did not have time to start the hair, and so that's what we'll be doing today. We'll be masking off her hair and getting it ready for the base color and maybe some shades. I'm not entirely sure. Might just do the base color, to be honest, but we'll see. So let's get that back down there. And I will now show you guys the metallic blues, which I kind of showed on Instagram a little bit, but I really love how that color came out, and so I'm excited to show it off. Let's see, I think the battery just needed a little boost, so you should be good. Okay, good, yeah. I remember one of my car I used to have before I sold it, battery would go out like every year or two, mostly because it got so hot where I was and it would just kill the battery. So, you know, sometimes you're good, sometimes battery just dies. Hopefully it's a one-off for you though. Hello Act Crafty, how are you doing this evening? We are just about to show off the metallic color that we painted last time. So let me bring that on over. Should be good. Here it is. So it's all glossed up. Let's get that close. You can really see the shadings now kind of along the bottom here and along her back. So a lot of this is just shadings from the figure. Let's see if I can zoom in too. Still working out the angles on this, so we'll have to kind of mess around with it. But yeah, it came out really well, I think. I'm pretty pleased with this base color, and let's see if doing that helps at all. Really, it does like to focus on that paper towel. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I really like this metallic blue. I think it came out great. It's very Chun-Li-ish, a little bit. Color is pretty close right now to what it is in person. But it's a very vibrant blue with a lot of shading, so I'm very happy about that. Let's take a look at the tattered clothes. Also very metallic blue right now, but I really love how the shadings came out. So you can see that the tips kind of look darker here, you know, around the edges here. And turning it, you can see there's a lot of shading going in here, inside, etc. So I'm pretty pleased with how this one came out, and works very well with the colors. Oh, let me turn that off because that's going to be pretty loud. Oh, if I can get it. My dehumidifier. I have to turn it off for these viewing sessions because otherwise it's just going to be super loud. But yeah, I really love how the colors interact. It will have this kind of yellow or white ribbon on it, and then the pants work really well with this color too. So it'd be something like this. So starting to look like Chun-Li colors. Let me see if I can make that image a little bit brighter or bigger and bring it over. So yeah, really starting to come together in terms of what I want. I did want her pants a little more orangey than the reference image, so I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, and then her skin tone as well. Let's see. All of it's kind of coming together and becoming what I want. So Still so much to do, mostly hair, honestly, and then her face. But we're pretty far along at this part. We're definitely past like 50%, I'd say, and so I'm excited. All right, so that's kind of a long recap. Oh, I should probably move this image too so it doesn't block everything. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of the long recap. Today we will be working on hair masking and hair painting, but in order to do the hair painting, we have to mask her head off. So here's her head. As I've been saying, let's see. As I've been saying, she does have all of this like hairline to mask off. So let's see. Yeah, all the hairline to mask off. So we will have to cut all of these like little tiny squares and fit them around her hairline to make sure that, you know, everything is masked off well. So we're gonna start out with that. Let me get my stuff. Got these. Going to zoom out a little bit. We'll see how far we need to go though. And X-Acto knives here, tweezers here. The tape would be helpful. We need to pull out the tape. Okay, and her head, which I will remove and kind of set off to the side here because I'll be lifting it up often. Okay, so looking at this head, we are going to need pretty small tapes. I think I'm going to start out with a 1mm size tape and then kind of adjust from there. And may or may not need to go a little bit smaller. X-Acto knife. So we're cutting 1mm right now. And I have some little tweezers. Actually, let me see. I feel like this got kind of tilted. Maybe it's just the angle. Weird. Still getting used to this camera. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so we got this 1mm tape, very small. Pretty easy to cut using this template. And let me keep this here. Okay. So what I typically do when I'm masking small areas like this is I cut them into a lot of really tiny like pieces, and that way I can just pull them off of my scissors. Let me put this here. Okay, a little bit better. Alright, so we got her head. And let's see how this looks. Okay, that's as far in as I can go. So no matter what, that's what it's gonna be like. Okay, yeah, that 1mm will work really well. So we're gonna start with that. Oh, I don't know what that was. And I'm basically just gonna be placing these tiny tapes all along her hairline, like so. You know, this kind of hard to see under this, but yeah, they're all gonna go all along the hairline. So a little bit time consuming, which is why we kind of set this aside to do separately and last. So I hope you guys like chill masking, because that's gonna be a good portion of tonight. She's very much gonna have a interesting zigzaggy head, at least in the beginning. And then what I'm gonna do is cover up probably the top of the face, and then the rest with, or top of the face with some tape, and then the rest with saran wrap if I can. This is such a small face that it might be a little bit hard. Glad I brought these tweezers too, because some of this, the application is pretty finely needed. Regular pair of tweezers would probably not work quite well for this type of work. Yeah, whatever. So here's kind of where we're at. Just gonna slowly work our way all along the hairline, and then eventually we'll cover up, you know, more of the face with tape. So right now we're just focusing on hairline. And we will definitely need to continue, you know, cutting this size, this 1 millimeter. Like I already ran out, so we're gonna need to cut another piece here. Next time I think I'll just pull off a bigger slice of tape, and that way we'll have more to cut and work with.
I want to give you what I think is the most authentic recipe. So first up, guys, you only need this ingredient.
Okay. So I'm going to cut them a little bit smaller this time.
Then, and I'm going to take a
Just
9
cutting them pretty
centimeter
long.
slice. And technique and timing.
Put the rest of the tape kind of off the side. Usually I just stick it on the side of my desk, and then you know, I can pull it off and you know, cut more as needed. Let me turn off this painting ref too for a second, because that way I feel like it's really blocking some of this bench, at least for this portion. Been quite a while since I had a kit with a hairline this intricate, so a lot of times, you know, you get these hair pieces sculpted separately, or it just has bangs or something, and so this has been a while. Or a lot of times it has like a neck, you know, sculpt, so there's hair sculpted on the back, but I don't know if I've ever painted something with a hairline that kind of zigzags like this, so it's one of the things that interested me in this kit in the first place was her hair.
And you get some pretty good results, actually.
Okay. On the top here. So far I've been having a lot of fun though with this figure, and really liking how the colors are coming out this time. It's a little different from what I, you know, usually paint, which is just pastels or shiny, etc. So this one's been fun. Okay, let us cut another tape. I think I have enough for maybe one more. That might be a little sticky toward the end there. Starting to pull that up a couple times, so. Alright. Oh yeah, I still have that other piece too. I already forgot about it. Let's get rid of that. power of this cutting template. Feels like masking just moves a lot quicker with it. Okay. Pull off some randoms. I do tend to try to like start in one direction and then go the whole way around rather than like work both ways, because I feel like the tape sticks a little bit better if you just follow a curve along the whole way. But maybe that's just me. Hello Downpour, how are you doing tonight? I'm happy you can be here too. You like the new top-down view? Hopefully gonna, benefit you guys a little bit better in the long run. Especially when airbrushing, I did a couple of tests, just, dry run, so no solution in it, just kind of fake spraying it, and it looked like it was really good, so excited. And what kit are you working on? There we go. It is a bit bright though. I wonder if I can turn this down. That might be a little bit better. Then again, my camera might be not bright enough now. Yeah, that was the biggest thing, I think, which was the issue, is because I am left-handed. It just like focused on my fingers, which bothered me a lot, but it was like, how do I get around this? But now I'm much happier. And this is, when I envisioned streaming, this is the kind of setup that I wanted. So, I'm pretty happy with it so far. We'll have to see how it goes, but so far so good. The only problem, at least in this booth, is that my airbrush booth is at an angle. So like a lot of airbrush booths, they have a top like this, and then they kind of go and slant down. And so in order to capture this stream, I have to basically be working in like the bottom left corner of my booth. Like there's a lot more booth. Let's see if I can zoom out. Like this isn't even the whole booth. Like here to here is the booth, but I gotta work in like this tiny corner because here's the top up here, and then it would just focus on everything. So, hello Rebel Star, how are you? I am doing very well tonight now that we have our new top-down stream view. I'm just gonna keep talking about that all night tonight. Very pleased with it so far. But I'm doing well. We're working on masking this hairline right now, so using some 1mm tape and just cutting and I guess giving her some tape. So here we go, kind of along the edge here is where we're at. Nice crisscrosses. Let's see. You're good, thank you. I like the new camera view. Yeah, thank you. Hoping it'll serve everybody well. I'm excited. Oh, I love Alice from Odin Sphere Downpour. Which kit are you working on? I actually have a couple of kits of her. Actually, maybe one. But I love her. I love the altar figure of her. I played some of the game. I didn't finish the game. It's very much my aesthetic. And I don't remember why I stopped it. I don't even remember what I played it on. Maybe my Vita? Yeah, I don't recall. I don't remember why I stopped either. But whatever. It's a good game. It's like, I love the character design. The story's really good. I don't know why I stopped it, but maybe if it shows up on like Xbox Game Pass or something someday, then I'll play it again. Okay, so we're cutting some more tape right now. Just kind of ran out, so. Oh, yes. Yep. Is it the one of her in the little chair? Because if so, that's the one that I have as well. And it was a Wonder Showcase figure. The cat. Oh, never mind. Maybe, yeah, it's the other one where she's like smiling and her eyes are closed and she's kind of running with that cat on her head. That is if that's the one I'm thinking about, that one's a really nice beginner kit. And one of my best friends painted that kit, and she's a newbie in the hobby as well. She's finished a couple of kits, but she really liked that one. She had kind praise for it. So I think Alice kits, like in general from Odin Sphere, it's a really good one because her color scheme is relatively simple, and her kits are small too. So, oops. Gotta try to remember I'm inside of the square now. Okay, let's put this over here. Hopefully my Momo's still acting up too. And Spotify hasn't stopped yet, so I need to knock on wood. We're all in good mode today. You missed out on a kit you wanted. Oh no. What kit was it? Was it on auction? I have honestly been trying to avoid looking at kits for a long time now. I see some on Twitter, you know, I follow certain sculptors and stuff, but I have been avoiding Yahoo Auctions and all of the mandarakes and stuff just because my goal for myself is to finish more in my closet this time. And man, do I have a lot in my closet, and not even, like, a bunch are not even on MFC or anything, and so, mystery kits. Lots of work to finish, lots of commissions to finish, just busy life. But this is the time for you guys right now, so can't complain about any of that. And these streams are knocking out kits in my closet too, so it's a win-win all around. Oh, it was on Mandarake. Yeah, some of their stuff sells out super quick. Like when I look on Mandarake, you have to look at very specific times, and you gotta be quick. Like sometimes the stuff comes up, and if you're not sure you want it, it'll just sell out. That happened to me multiple times with a couple kits. Okay, I just saw as I put down that tape, tiny piece of skin pop off. I think it was just from my tweezers because they're so sharp, so I'll have to do a bit of painting over that spot later. Because this is clear skin, it's never really going to look quite the same, but this is in a very inconspicuous spot, so not too much to worry about. But just be aware if you're using really sharp tweezers that this stuff can happen. Okay, we're nearing kind of the end of this hairline, so what I'm gonna have to do is mask off the, let's see, hard to explain it if you guys can't see it that well. And let me check your link in just a bit. I think that this is, oh come on camera. Seems that even with this camera angle, there's still a couple of issues. There we go. Okay, so we're near the end of the hairline, so I'm gonna have to kind of work my way around it, and then as we go into the back, and then we'll end up back at the front again. Okay, let's see. Click this kit. Oh, a K-Books kit. Okay. Oh yeah, that one is a cute one. Oh, I'm sorry you missed out on that kit. Whoa, why did I get a phone call? Popular tonight. Yeah, that one's really cute. I remember seeing that one on MFC long ago because K-Books kits are pretty old. But hopefully she'll show up again someday. Yeah, exactly. I've seen her pop up multiple times over the course of, you know, whatever kit building lifetime I've had. So there will be other times to get her. I think K-Books kits pop up under the resin kit tag on Yahoo Auctions as well. So you may be able to find a couple of them by searching that search term instead of the usual garage kit tag, because they're getting pretty old at this point, a lot of those kits. Okay, let's cut some more. Actually, I keep cutting more and then I remember I have it on my desk already, so after we use this piece I'll need to use what's left on my desk. this time I will not forget. I will leave it over here. Okay, let's finish up this side at least. I'm kind of pressing down on it with a precision cotton swab, just because these pieces are so small. It's easier to lock them in place that way. Okay, and we are masking off her ear as well, so that one will be interesting. I might have to use a little bit of different widths and diameters of tape. So we are now working along towards the back of the neckline. And now my hope is that I have masked and glued, top coated, sorry, not glued yet, everything well, because otherwise that paint's just going to kind of peel up. But I applied pretty heavy gloss on it, so it should be okay. And the tape's gonna have to get really small for some of these. Might be easier to just work along the top of the ear. Push this into place. Okay, this section is going to be a little bit tough. Should be okay, but we'll have to apply a couple of bits of tape there. Okay, have that one. Fold this up. I might apply a little bit of liquid mask to this face too, along kind of the top of the hairline here, just to lock down the tape. Getting tough. Okay. One of these is going to need to be a triangle if it wants to fit inside of that neck. Or the hairline gap. So let's see if I can do that. There we go. So really just fitting in where we can, triangles and other stuff. You can see we kind of have to work along the top of the ear here because the hairline goes kind of around the ear and then down. Thank you, Rebel Star. Yeah, we'll see how it goes after, you know, we finish painting, but we do want to try to get it as close as possible the first time, because then you have less cleaning up and mistake, correction to do. Masking is one of those things that it's very time consuming, but if you do it well, it saves you a lot of trouble in the end. And even when I feel like I do it well, there's almost always some sort of spot that I miss. So, it's something that takes a while to learn. Okay. And kind of like I mentioned in last stream, there are various products available now that make it a little bit easier, like, cutting templates, or the crepe tape is becoming more popular. It's kind of a very thin tape, mostly by Hasegawa, that's used with, liquid mask and other stuff. But I don't have access to that right now, so regular tape it is. Okay, now going along the back of her neck, literally the nape of the neck right now. And I'll do both sides and then show you guys. Okay, so all along the nape of the neck, and then we're working our way back up to this side. So, and then we'll start kind of round 2 with a slightly larger width, covering up a couple of key spots, and then I'm going to try to saran wrap most of this face. I do not want to be putting a ton of tape all over it. Let's see. Yeah, some people love masking, some people hate it. It's interesting, like who likes it and who doesn't. Because I'm definitely in the I hate it camp, but again, since I got this tool, it makes it so much easier. So I don't hate it quite as much as I did maybe a couple of years ago. You rushed your last masking effort and I had to fix so many mistakes. Yeah, that happens. That's a pretty common thing that a lot of people have to deal with, myself included sometimes. It's a very, very precision-based step, and so if you're not prepared for that, it can take quite a while. Okay, let's cut some more. But I do like to cut this kind of really small one first, because that way it's laid closest to the edge, and the larger your width, if you have a curved surface, it might kind of bend or crinkle a little bit, but when you have a width this small, you're going to get it laid against your flat surface pretty much every time. So that's why we're working with this really small width right now. So got pretty much to right along the edge here. Now I'm gonna work from the other side of here up, back along the ear. Just because that ear is a little bit troublesome. And I wanna make sure that the tape is laid down against it. There's something weird on that tape. I'm gonna pull up this tape, there's something a little odd on it. I was like, hopefully it's not the skin tone that's laying on it, but I don't know. It's like a piece of dust or something. Okay, let's work back. And even though we do this, I anticipate some corrections will need to be made, some enamel corrections in the detailing phase. But by then a lot of the focus will be on her twin tails, and so not too concerned. This face rolls too, it gives me a mini heart attack every time. I'm afraid it's gonna roll off. give you an idea of how small this tape is. Let's see. Here's my finger. And here's the tape. So we're working real small here. This is kind of the scale that I'm used to working at though, so I'm not, you know, bothered by this size at all. Okay, and we probably need about one more little tape, so let's get this here, here. Just cut the rest of them. Okay, so that, let me double check along here. This ear came out a lot better than the other one, so let me see if there's... I think I didn't make a piece of tape long enough for this one. Let's see if this works. Not really, this ear will sculpted it slightly differently from the other one, so that's a little better. Okay, so here's a focus of the tape. Actually, let me put this on an alligator clip so I don't drop it. Here's the focus of the tape. So we've gone pretty much all along the neck and the back and the side. And so now what we're gonna do is extend the width a little bit, kind of along the edge here, and start to cover up some of this really fine tape, just kind of like the next layer after that. So we're gonna work our way towards the front of the face. And I'm just gonna use some scraps that I have. So whatever the excess is on this, I'm gonna cut some squares and just kind of apply it along the face. The width doesn't, or the, well, kind of the width, but the length doesn't matter much either. Or I guess it would be height and length since this is a 2D surface. How did all the metallic blue go? Are you happy with how it came out? Yeah, I showed it at the beginning of this stream, but I'm pretty pleased with it for sure. Let me show off the top at least. Won't bring over the other one. But yeah, I really love it. I glossed it up and it came out really nice and shiny. Let's see. Do this instead. Like to focus on those scissors. Yeah, it's nice and shiny. You can really see the shadings, which I love. Very Chun-Li-ish in person. So like the color is exactly how I wanted it. It's super vibrant. Love it. Pretty excited to see, you know, once I put the gold on, how that will look. She looks a little bit plain now because it's like there's no gold or any details, but once we get that going, I think it will be really, like you'll go, wow, that's definitely, you know, that's a Chun-Li cosplay. All right, so what we're gonna do now is just start placing these slightly larger tapes over the face, and they're not really cut to any specific dimension. In fact, I'm gonna cut this one a little bit smaller, but I just want to kind of secure the layer of tape that I just put down with a slightly larger tape, if that makes sense. But we don't really want to cover up pieces too much in a way that they would be affecting the hairline or actually, you know, hitting the hairline. Really just kind of working along the top here. Okay, now I don't know what camera's doing. There we go. Okay, it still feels like it wasn't fully focusing. I think it's just because the lighting is kind of weird, but we'll see. Okay, so again, kind of just, you know, slowly making our way across, covering up what's there. And let's pull some more off. Gonna cut these squares a little bit smaller than before. Okay, for now, that's good. And I noticed this in my past VOD, but if you're hearing like water running in the back, that's my cat's cat fountain. So I was like, what the heck is that sound? So if it sounds like there's like a little waterfall going in the back, that's my cat's water. Just thought it was kind of funny. This camera is like, or this mic is really good if it's able to pick up like this running water all the way across the room. Okay. Oh, there's a little bit more here. And as you like mask with the super fine stuff, you may notice you're getting little bits left over on your hands, so it's always fun. Just random tapes. Okay, so the ear is a little bit more annoying, but I'm gonna try to cover as much of it as I can. I think I'll need to use some liquid mask along it though. Really just trying to use all of the tape that we cut, so we really don't, you know, throw away or waste a lot of it. Tend to use a lot of the scraps for random stuff like this. Okay, I'm gonna cut this a little smaller. Again, I want this to lay pretty much flush. I don't want to be like bending the tape because it's much more likely to peel up that way. So sometimes it can't be helped, like this is a very curved surface, but that's where we'll use a little bit of liquid mask as well. can start to see, you know, for really intricate pieces on kits, it can take hours to mask certain things depending on how elaborate the pattern is or how, you know, many colors you need to put, etc. It's not uncommon at all to spend that much time masking. Because again, you really do want to try to get a good job the first time. Get a little bit more. This might be too thin, but we'll test it. Should be okay, I think. Don't need too much more tape anyway, at least along this side. I'm definitely not a pro masker. There will be some mistakes, but it's the attempt and the process that counts, I think, when it comes to this. Almost done with this bit. Going around the head the second time. A little bit easier since we've already laid down the base. Okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna liquid mask the ears. Like I'll put top there. Okay, and put this. Okay, so this is pretty much the second round. Let's see. So we're kind of just extending our view, field of view here, adding more tape, covering more spots. Now what I'm gonna do is cut an even, well, probably similar tape length and height, but I will be putting some saran wrap if I can around this face. It's a very small face, we're not gonna need a lot. And so it will require a bit of precision, but we'll see what we can do. So I've got a bunch of tape or saran wrap here. I'm gonna try to cut a small piece, but a little goes a long way with this. So pro masker sounds like a resume. Yeah, it really is though. Like if you've masked at all, you'll understand, you know, how time consuming it can be. And that so many things can go wrong with it. Your tape can peel up, your paint can peel off of your tape, you can just, you know, have everything possible go wrong. So I'm always impressed by people who can do, you know, really good masking jobs and have the patience for it because, oh my god, it drives me nuts. This is why I try to saran wrap stuff so I don't have to deal with it. And I always get kind of nervous when it comes to putting tape on the face and skin. Like other pieces I'm fine with, but skin to me is kind of like an investment in it because you've already done the clear skin method. And so, you know, there's so many things already that could go wrong with the clear skin method. So to have all that job ruined by some tape is just the worst. So I'm just kind of making this tape or this saran wrap smaller if I can, kind of folding it into a squarish shape, but we'll see. That shape's pretty good. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is cut a little bit of a longer size here. 3.5 millimeters instead. Start with that and see what happens. This is just something that I do. I don't know if a lot of people do this in terms of like saran wrapping the faces and such, but everybody has their own ways of doing things, so this is just mine when I'm dealing with these types of hairlines. Ideally, you do want the tape to cover the saran wrap like half and half, and so you get a really, you know, solid bond to both. But I don't expect this to cover everything. Pull this off real quick. So what we'll do is after we finish saran wrapping this face, I'm going to go over it just a little bit with the liquid mask and make sure everything's kind of locked down. And then we can start airbrushing the rest of the hair while we wait for that liquid mask to dry. And I'll put it on pretty thin, so we won't need to wait too long, maybe like 15 minutes or so, because that liquid mask is usually pretty dry to the touch by around 30-minute mark. So looking at the clock, yeah, we'll probably have time for about masking the base, or sorry, getting this all masked up and then put down the base color. And we'll just have to kind of leave that way until Tuesday. So not really a fan of leaving tape on that long, but we'll see what happens. It's an experiment. Usually I like to get hair done just all at once so I can pull the tape off right after. There was a little bit of area I'm gonna have to still tape down. Saran wrap can't get everything because this is already kind of an oddly angled head. So we're just gonna have to put tape on the rest of the spots. This is when it starts to get looking a little bit creepy because the face is all masked and then it's got tape all over it, and so it's always fun times. Okay, I can already tell this ear is going to be troublesome part. Definitely needs that masking liquid. Okay, so let me double check this real quick and take a look. We've got pretty much all of it masked, but I can see a couple of edges starting to peel up a little. It's also a bit right here. Okay. There we go. Okay. It's a little bit of tape pop up, but it was starting to hit that hairline, which you don't want, so. Okay, so we're gonna apply some liquid mask now, and mostly kind of along some hairline spots, but all of her, front and back, and especially this area here, have all been masked down. So really we're just gonna put a couple of dabs of the liquid mask along her ears here. You can see there's a couple spots where the masking tape start to peel up a little. And then I'm probably gonna lay like a thin layer down here and around the ear, and that will just keep everything, all of the tape locked down. That's the whole point of this. So let me grab my my masking liquid real quick. Should just be right over here in my new paint storage. Much more accessible, so that's great. So we're using Masking Coat R from Gaia Notes. Let's see. Masking Coat R. This is a Gaia Notes product. It's just the blue liquid mask that I always have. Little goes a long, long way with this. So, okay, let me move some of these tools. Okay. So we don't need a lot. We're just gonna put down a little bit at a time. Let's see. And probably better if I have this on the clip at this point. That way I'm not touching it and manipulating the tape. Well, is it peaceful song? I also have a piece of tape on my finger that's kind of throwing me off, so let's adjust this clip. Let's just keep. So again, this isn't really covering too much, in terms of the skin tone, but sculptors and artists sometimes use this as a way to keep paper tape down, because once this liquid mask dries up, it is pretty flat, and it's essentially like an extra kind of adhesive glue that holds everything together. But it's not really glue, because it's just masking, liquid. It peels right off. focus my attention though. Yeah, especially along the back here. If you apply too much of this at once, you also risk it going underneath your masking tape and kind of pushing it up. So you want to make sure that your tape is laid down really flat as well before you start, you know, applying this glue, or sorry, masking liquid. Yeah, I can see this one already started to peel up a little bit. I mean, it's fine if once it dries flat, but the only concern is that you don't want your skin tone revealed. So that's why I also put a couple of layers of this paper tape down before I add this liquid mask, because it's just a precautionary thing. This one is the troublesome one though, this section of the ear. And there's definitely parts of this which just need liquid mask on them, so it doesn't even have any paper tape on it. But you can see this way most of the face is protected, especially all along the front with just that saran wrap. This tape does not want to stay down. It also makes me not quite as afraid to touch the face when it has this, you know, saran wrap on top of it. There we go. So the only thing you do want to be careful of, well, not the only thing, but one of the things you want to be careful of is when you're laying down your masking tape too, make sure it doesn't have any hairs sticking out of it or, you know, little bits, because those might lay flat against your paint once you apply it. And that's the last thing you want to do is, you know, be having to fix and correct hairs and issues. There's a little hair or something that's, there we go, stuck there. So just pull it off before we even start painting. Okay, yeah, this liquid mask also seeping under this ear, which is fine. We do want this ear covered, but there's a very, very small space I see that I missed. Right in the corner here. And very much trying not to hit the hair. Don't really want to be putting any liquid mask on the hair because that's what we're going to be painting. So. I'm hoping all this prep and laying this down flat will mean that when we return to painting this kit next Tuesday, we won't have any issues. Let me check this again. You can see that this color is already starting to dry up a little bit. A little more here. hair kind of wacky, but looks like the liquid mask covered pretty much everything. Okay. Oh, need a little bit here. Too much. A little bit more here. Really just trying to secure that second layer that we put on to the very, very first layer, that 1 millimeter. Okay, that should be okay, I think. I say that and then usually there's some sort of issue down the line, but let's get a little more on the ear here. Okay, so that's pretty much all of the masking glue and tape that needs to go onto this face in preparation for the base coat of, and I guess entire hair shadings. So this is what this face will look like pretty much the whole time until we're done with the hair. After that we'll pull off the tape and that should be it. The face will be pretty much done except for the detailing at that point. So let's put this to the side and it's gonna need to dry. So that will take a little bit of time to do. In the meantime though, we do have other pieces to paint. We can start her twin tails and the front like bangs of her hair. And she also does have two little stringy hair pieces coming out, but I lost them and so we'll have to figure something out, but I have pre-mixed paint so I'm not too worried about that right now. That's not the concern for today. So let me clean this up real quick. Just going to put away my cutting templates and X-Acto knife, etc. as we transition into airbrushing for tonight, which is the important part and what a lot of you guys are here for, I think, is the airbrushing. Now with good views, so okay, put this over here. Yeah, Rebel Star. I don't know what happened to them. In all honesty, all of my brain cells were going toward making sure all of the pieces for my commission were put together and, you know, present, because that kit had a lot of really small pieces. So somehow they just, I might have thrown them in the trash or they fell and got lost or something, but they aren't a huge deal. They were just two kind of little pieces like that fit on the other side of her head. You can see kind of in that current project photo, she's got these little hair tendrils coming out the sides of her face. So what we'll do instead is probably cut like a little piece of paper or something like that. Not important enough piece that I feel like I need to resculpt it. So not that it would be a super difficult piece to resculpt, but you know, just not really in the mood to do any of that, nor do I think it's needed. So okay. So, just poured out a bunch of lacquer thinner, and let me open my window real quick. Okay. Alright, so before we paint the face, we do need to get started on pieces like this, her hair twin tails. So these are the two pieces that used to be four, and then we puttied them together. So they are now only two pieces stuck together. Let me blow them off real quick. It's been a while since they've been sitting on my bench. You can see this is what it will look like when I am airbrushing, more or less. So a lot better view this time. Oh, might be a... very humid outside, so I'm debating. Might need to turn my humidifier on. Might be a little loud, but I think that's what we'll have to deal with. Let's see. Yeah. So if this is too loud, let me know. But at some points, we'll be turning off the mic anyway when I'm airbrushing, so it won't be too bad. But I have to have this dehumidifier on because it's so humid outside. so don't really have a choice. Tonight it's supposed to rain. Actually, it should be raining right now, so I have no idea. We won't be doing this for too long. Okay, so I do need to get this hairpiece on a piece of tape because I'm just going to stick it to it and airbrush it that way. It's the cheapo way. Literally just take it and put it on a piece of tape, and that's how you do it. Sometimes I use some rope, but kind of wrap it around either side, give it a little bit more stability. That's the cheap way, the easy way. Okay. Anyway, we do have some hair color to spray tonight. I have a pre-mixed color called Hair Light, which is what we'll start with. You can see it's completely separated now. It's been a while since we mixed it. So let me shake it up, and then you can see the color. We're gonna also test this on a spoon before we start, just to double check what color it is and if I like it. So this is the base color that's gonna go on first. It will not look very Chun-Li-ish because Chun-Li has pretty dark hair. Let's show it off again. Oops, I locked the image. Let's see. So Chun-Li has pretty dark hair, as you can see, but this is more like the highlight color and the color that will guide us through the rest of the tones, because we're gonna go pretty slowly into blending everything together. Here's what it should look like when it comes out, and here's some of the darker colors by comparison. So I think these are the three that we chose for this hair, and I do have paint mixtures for each of them. So I have the Hair Light, this is the middle one, and this is the dark one. So like so. So we'll see. I might adjust these two, down the line if I don't like how they look, if they're not blending well with the figure, but I always like to start with a pre-made mixture, just, to give myself a good basis and to make sure I have the color more or less correct. Okay, almost done shaking. There's like some stuff really stuck at the bottom here. Mostly some whites and a little bit of red. And we will just be using my Iwata for this. This is the Iwata HPC Plus, 0.3 millimeter needle. Pretty straightforward. We use it mostly on my base coats. We're not doing any shading yet, so. Okay, almost. I think it's pretty much good, but I do need to get a spoon ready as well. So, okay, that should be good. So this is the color that should be coming out, roughly. More of a light brown. It's easy to saturate this and have it turn darker, so we'll go and see. I'm gonna sand this spoon really quick because these are the cheapo spoons that have a weird film on them. So when I spray them as is, nothing sticks. But if I sand this with an 800 grit, you can see it's pretty much lost all of its shine, and we're good to go. So, okay, so. Let me, let's see, test this first and get a in here. Yep, seems good. So let's pour some of this mixture into, oops, make your brush. Okay, I'm going to test this without the booth on real quick. And then if I like the color, we'll transition into the sound off and booth on. Already probably getting pretty loud with the background noise, so apologies. Okay, we're just going to put a thin color on. You can see it's a pretty reddish kind of brown orange right now. How's that camera looking, guys? Much better? Not better? Focus, maybe? Nice. Very glad to hear that. That should make your viewing experience much better, I think. And as always, thank you to those of you who stick around and watch my streams, regardless of quality. You have been rewarded now with better quality. So that's good. Alright, let's turn this off. Let me look at it real quick. I think this is pretty much, what I was expecting, but yeah, it's a little bit darker. You can see, so this is the one that we designed the color with in mind. So we, tested and wrote down our recipe, and this is after I followed the recipe. So a little bit darker, but Chun-Li has pretty dark hair anyway. So, and this is just the base coat, and also I pretty much saturated this, so I'm not too concerned. Looking against here, that's pretty good. And let's test this. Yeah, this piece looks pretty good. Okay, so I think we're good to go. We're gonna start out with painting the hair tendrils, and then move on to this tiny piece. And finally, after that, I will check to see if all of this is dry, and if so, then we will just start, spraying this piece as well. Looks like it's already getting pretty dry. Once it turns kind of non-glossy, that's when it starts to be completely dry. So, alright, let me get my mask on. And again, I know I say this every single time, but I will be muting myself, at least for this portion, just because, it's very loud. Dehumidifier is pretty loud. The booth is even louder, so you really wouldn't be able to hear anything. Definitely would not be able to hear me talking over it, so, okay. Put a little bit more in here. Alright, moment of truth. There's been a lot of work up to this point to get this hair ready, so fun times. Alright, compressor's on. I'm going to turn the booth on and mute myself. finished one hair strand. So far, so good. Not really any complaints, although I think that it will be interesting when we start to clear shade this or apply our shadings, because as I anticipating getting into the cracks and the twirls of some of these areas is a little bit difficult. So, you know, that we kind of expected because we fused two pieces together, but you know, overall, I like it so far. That's all I really gotta say. We're laying down base coats, so I'm gonna turn this over so we can use the other side of this paper towel for the other hair strand. But the puttying worked really well. So the line is like right here, but you know, the rest of the visible pieces, you can't even tell that they were once two pieces puttied together. So, and again, this isn't Chun-Li's final hair color. It is a more of a lighter brown compared to her regular hair color, but we'll compare everything later. So yeah, thank you, Rebel Star. We're getting there. Well, we'll compare pieces once we finish the twin tails and the front piece at least. So let me put some more paint into my cup and then we'll continue. I'm going to put a little bit more this time, like 1.5 droppers. That should be enough, good. Alright, compressor's going and let's get started.
in life never been, in life never been, in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought
Alright, so lay down the base color for these 3 pieces, and now I'm going to check to see how that liquid mass is coming along. And if it appears dry, which I think it should be by this point, then we're just going to spray that head that we masked as well. So let's just put a little bit more tape so I can set this here, just like that. And let me take this off just briefly so we can take a look at our hair. So far so good. Not really seeing any paint splotches or anything. Just a smooth brown color, which is what we wanted. So that's the goal here. Smooth browns after all that sanding and prep and primer we put on. I did not expect to see any like flakiness or crusty bits, whatever. And yeah, it's a very smooth paint job, so that's good. So let's see how this looks. I'm just gonna touch this glue, or I keep saying glue, it's masking liquid. Yeah, I'd say this is pretty much dry at this point. It's definitely not at a point where it's going to be peeling up anything. So I think we're safe to start spraying this head as well. Just give it a double check. Once you start spraying, there's not really any going back, so gotta make sure. Yeah, it looks good. Looks like the front head is all locked down. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good. So we are going to spray this head now. Move these pieces away. And I might go back and check the twin tail. Looks like there's 1 or 2 spots that are a little bit uneven. So if you see me transition over into those pieces again, that's why. Yes, smooth. That's what we want here. That's the goal with garage kits, you know, the ideal texture that a lot of people demand and want. Hand painted textures aren't always like that, so this is really an effect that you can fully get with an airbrush. Takes a lot more work to get with a paintbrush. Super smooth paint. And particularly lacquer paint will give you this really smooth texture. So even acrylic, you know, water-based acrylics in an airbrush to some extent will still have a little bit of graininess to them. Okay, let's do this. The compressor is now on, and this head should not take too long. So once the head is done, we will turn this off again. Alright, that was pretty fairly straightforward, you know, in terms of just spraying the rest of the head, but it always feels a little more real once that hair color goes on. You can kind of see the hint of a face underneath, but now that we've got a brown on it, you know, it's like, oh my god, this kit does have hair, you know, it's all coming together. So far so good, I think. Let me clear out my airbrush real quick, because I still have a bunch of paint left. You can see I make a lot of paint for, you know, what I plan to do, and this is just in case something happens. A lot of times I start out with a lot of the base color and then make not quite as much of the shading colors, but that way I always have, you know, some spare in case I spill the bottle or whatever, or like this, get it on my hands, you know, don't accidentally put it back where it's supposed to be, etc. So let's clear this up real quick. And I think that unfortunately is all we will have time for tonight. It is almost 10 p.m. and all of the shading and everything that has to happen on this figure is going to take a little more time. Definitely longer than, you know, 10 minutes. So we will resume hair painting on next Tuesday. I will have plenty to talk about since my classes start next Monday. So, and my classes also start on Wednesday, that following Wednesday. So life is kicking up. We're gonna continue this stream time and see kind of how it goes. But you know, for now, we will see. Yeah, no problem, Rebel Star. It has been fun. And I will look at these pieces next to the other colors as soon as I finish cleaning out this airbrush. Okay, gonna do a slight deep cleaning. Just kind of take apart the needle and everything since we will be leaving this for a while. And I don't have any other airbrush work going on at the moment, so we might as well just clean it up and prepare it for next Tuesday. So we are nearing the end of this. After we finish this hair, we will be all done with the base colors, and then we can move straight into the detail work, which we don't really have that much of either. I think looking at it, all I really want to do is maybe paint her fingernails a little bit, and then her face, and her, oh yeah, she does have the golds that need to happen as well. And we'll be doing a little bit more pastel shading with this as well. Like her belly button looks a little bit plain, so I want to put some pastels in it. And so just a variety of things is going to happen after this. But we will be transitioning back onto the other side of my booth soon, or the other side of the workbench, I guess. And with this new stream setup, that should make things a lot better, I think. Okay, that's pretty much clean. Thank you, Rebel Star. I hope you do too. Hope everybody here watching has a good weekend that's nice and cool, and no hurricanes or inclement weather or bad things happen. Try to cover all the bases here. Alright, let's check this real quick, these hair pieces, and then we will say goodnight. And I am going to move this because the last thing I want to do is set my pieces on top of paper towels that have lacquer on them. Seems like a bad idea. Alright, let's take a quick look at this before we wrap up. So, hair is looking very chocolatey red right now. You know, which one's the spoon? I think this was the spoon. Exactly the color, you know, that our spoon has, and so not too bad. Thank you, Hololai, you too. Hope everybody here has a good time as you're tuning out. I'm just doing a final review here. So this is the color that we'll probably apply next time. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure if I want to do this or some clears. And then this is a really dark one. Again, not sure what's going to happen here. But let's compare real quick to this. So, oh, that's a pretty nice difference. This is definitely more red toned, which I really wanted was a red toned hair compared with this oranger version of her boots. And then let's see. Oh yeah, so far so good. I really like how that's coming together. I think with some darker browns and maybe a clear color or two, this hair can have a lot of dimension to it, and it will be a really fun thing for this kit. Also, her arms are really funny because they just kind of like snap in at this point, so yeah. Power of magnets. You can see it just kind of like snaps in. And then with the boot, or with the pants, so far so good. So, just random things you can do with magnets at this point is compare colors. Yeah, I think this looks awesome. I'm really happy with this color so far. Even though this one is like, you know, still kind of dark, it's brown. I haven't painted browns in a while. I think it's going where I want, in the direction I want, so that's great. So we'll leave this for now, you know, over this weekend, and that will also give this paint, these browns, a chance to cure. And then that way when we do all the shading, if we need to use the sponge and all of that, we can just, you know, use it, and it won't, hopefully won't take off the base layer of paint. Let's put this over here, and this, and this. Alright guys, well this was fun. I'm glad we got all that masking out of the way. Her face will be sitting kind of like this for a while. And so next stream, well, let me conclude this face. Actually, forget it. She can sit there. So next stream will be next Tuesday, August 31st, last day of August. So we are wrapping up, heading into September and this fall. So once we finish this figure, we're going to have to figure out what to do next for fall and winter theme. Should be fun. Anyway, hope you guys all have a good rest of the night. And I hope you have a good weekend, and I will catch you later. Have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.